that to all the left, and we have no idea who did this yet. We have a picture of the guy. We don't know anything about him other than that. I think this is an extremely emotional reaction that we're having. I agree that there might be moments where I'm emotionally charged, where I might double down on something that I might take a step back and reflect on moments later. But that is something that I tend to do is moments later I will go, okay, maybe in that moment I was emotionally charged, but here's what I'll retract this part, but I will not retract this part. And I like to make those discernments. And I think I can, so I think we can still have these conversations even when people are getting dysregulated, because I think that unfortunately the reality is that having these hard, challenging conversations causes dysregulation, emotional dysregulation in most people.
Let me say this. Let me just say this. I'm not going to be too long-winded with my response. All I'm going to say is this: the country is in an emotional state right now. But let me ask you this important question: without emotions involved, was it right that he just got assassinated without emotions? Logically speaking, based on the law, based on what we know as morality. Well, I'm a Christian Orthodox man, but based on those factors, I base my factors on Christianity. And, even outside of the Christian realm, if we're speaking in legal terms, what occurred without feelings involved would you say it was an illegal action that occurred?
With or without emotions, I would say it was absolutely disgusting and morally abhorrent thing to do.
So you could see how even
as I've said over and over tonight,
you could see how even in that case, you could still have dialogue even without emotion. And you could still make a point. We could still find common ground. We found common ground right there. That's the point that I'm trying to make, that there's many discussions, most, if not any, I'm pretty sure actually any conversation could be had. A logical conversation can be taken place without emotion involved, because you distort the reality, you distort opinions with emotion. You become biased. Come on. I've seen judges in the courtroom let a person go off just because they felt good about it on a day. And that was based on emotion, even though they shouldn't have been released. They commit a crime the next day. And that's, based on my own point of view, which it's a bit skewed, but still without emotions, it's an issue. With emotions, it tends to be an issue when you're trying to have a rhetoric, or when you're trying to have the proper discussion, a proper dialect with somebody. That's just, come on.
I understand what you're saying. I don't buy into the idea that this whole phrasing of without emotion. I don't necessarily believe in that there is, especially about these topics. I don't think there is dialogue without emotion. What I think is important is people are able to process those emotions in real time and understand why they might feel a certain way about things, which again is what I try to communicate about why I might feel upset by a certain conversational topic, like the whole thing about segregation. I was trying to communicate why it's reasonable for someone to try to abstract it and have this high level conversation about how, well, maybe technically not all versions of segregation are evil, but then you have to, if you're going to have that conversation, you have to rationally understand that you are activating a lot of people emotionally when you say those sorts of things, and you have to have both sides of the coin.
Then how can you move past even any type of dialogue if they get that type of emotion from, or that type of trigger from the word? You can't get past anywhere. You're literally creating a border if you don't make yourself as biased as possible. One person can never be truly biased, but you could damn well try to be there. That's the proper way to have a discourse with somebody. And I'm not trying to make a platform, a name of myself on here. I'm just trying to tell it as it is. You got to be as biased as possible to get to the reality, to get to the truth. And that's that.
Yeah, and just to put a pin on it, all I'm saying is that if you're going to have these conversations, you have to recognize how certain words that you might use are going to activate people and dysregulate them, and you have to engage with that. That's part of the rational discourse of it all.
Well, let me ask you all this,
and understanding how your rhetoric impacts the people around you.
Let me ask you this, and everyone included. Has anyone ever asked somebody, and this is just me, I've had this question for a while. I never had the chance to actually ask this question to I would consider this a big panel. But who here has asked somebody if they believe in horoscopes? Who here has asked somebody about their sign?
I have asked somebody that.
I'm the girl here. I have to be the one that says yeah.
Oh, really? See how
no, never. Never. No one here asked anyone what their horoscope fake astrology is.
I'm a Libra. I'm a proud Libra. I'm new to space racism, but I like it.
So
I'm a proud
Jose, how long have you been watching the
debate? See how emotionally charged.
I hate you so much, Ryan.
You see how emotionally charged everybody is just because I said, who hears this thought?
No. Wait. Why are you deeming your perception of emotionally charged and projecting? Hold on. Jose, hold on.
Be involved.
You're being very self-righteous right now. You're using your determination and perspective of emotionally charged, and you're projecting on everybody, sir. How long have you been watching debates?
Okay, yo, you done chatting, yapping it up, or can I?
Well, I'm asking you a question, sir. How long have you been watching debates?
I couldn't even hear your question because you kept yapping and I didn't even finish your point.
Okay, I hope you can hear me now. How long have you been watching debates?
Debate what? This debate?
No, not this debate. This would be just a singular debate. What are you talking about? I'm talking about debates in general.